Some people will do anything to take their favorite video games everywhere they go. But now Tiger gives you all the fun and excitement of your favorite arcade game in the palm of your hand.
Hey there, fellow time travelers! Welcome back to Retro Vault, the only place where you get your nostalgia cravings fed faster than a Tamagotchi's hunger meter. I'm Aaron, your guide to the quirkiest, the weirdest, and the most downright legendary toys, tech, and trends from the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. Today we're diving into something that had kids hooked before smartphones and full-color handheld consoles took over. Yep, today we're talking about Tiger LCD Handheld Electronics. If you were a kid in the 90s, there was a good chance that you had one of these battery-sucking, button-mashing, beep-booping pieces of plastic in your hands. So, grab a fat pack of double A's, a 20 spot from your mom's sock drawer, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe as we go back to a simpler time, where your favorite game and TV characters were locked inside black and white LCD screens, and the idea of high definition was, well, non-existent. Tiger Electronics was founded by Gerald, Randy, and Arnold Rissman in 1978. They initially started their business selling low-tech items like phonographs, which were those record players with the giant horns on them that were mainly found in spooky houses during episodes of Scooby-Doo. They eventually started getting into toys and had some notable hits like the 2XL robot in 1978 and the K-28, the talking learning computer. They even made the Talk Boy, the tape recorder featured on the oh-so-fantastic classic Home Alone. They were even responsible for the absolute smash hit Furbies as well. Their educational games were all well and good, but like we learned from Nickelodeon in the early years, the real money was in the fun. Tiger Electronics started making these little pocket-sized handheld games. And let me tell you, these things were everywhere. It didn't matter if you were a fan of Sonic, Batman, or the Little Mermaid. There was a Tiger handheld for you. The first game to be released was the Super Data Blasters in '95, a line of sports-themed handheld games. Seriously, Tiger had a handheld for every franchise known to man. If you had a favorite TV show or movie, chances are they turned it into a tiny, soundless game. And let's be honest, half the time, you didn't even care if the game was good. It was all yours, and that's all that mattered. It didn't even need to make sense. It just needed to beep aggressively at you every time you pressed a button. Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep. Ah, sweet memories. The handheld games would feature 3 or more buttons that you could press to move the 2D characters across the screens. The different images on the screen would light up in front of a static background, kind of like a digital clock. So that meant that there were only a certain amount of moves or things that could be achieved in one game. Yet the sheer amount of merchandising deals secured by Tiger set these games apart from others. There were titles like The Lion King, X-Men, Power Rangers, Jurassic Park, Mortal Kombat, Transformers, DuckTales, Chip 'n Dale, Space Jam, Rugrats, and so many more. Now you might be wondering, how did these simple, often frustrating games take over the world? Well, for one thing, Tiger handhelds were cheap. While your rich friend was flaunting their shiny new Game Boy, most of us were sticking with our Tiger handhelds, which you could grab for like, what, $20? You didn't need a game collection, just a couple AA batteries and you were good to go. A new LCD game would have you set for most of a long car ride if you were going on a trip. Just give me some DuckTales, some jerky, and a Mountain Dew, and I'm ready to roll. It was almost like the tablets of the mid-1990s, except thankfully, we didn't have Cocomelon. And plus, they were portable. Well, portable, if you don't mind a game shaped like a flattened brick. But hey, back then, this was considered cutting-edge technology. Forget your fancy iPhones and Nintendo Switchy Swatches. This bad boy could fit right into your JanSport pocket. Well, mostly. Not to mention the aforementioned merchandising deals, which allowed you to have Space Jam and Sonic 3 game at the ready, all for less than what a full console would cost. Which, let's face it, a console may have been a much better option, but for some of us, the Tiger Handhelds were the only option. It's a lot easier to ask mom or dad for a 20 spot to grab a new game than it was to ask for $80 for a console in a new game. Items of that value were generally saved for the Christmas list to Santa. But like all good things we cover on this channel, the Tiger Handheld's reign over the playground didn't last forever. By the late 90s, they were starting to feel outdated. The Game Boy and other portable consoles were rapidly evolving. Why settle for Sonic with 3 frames of animation when you could get Sonic actually running on a Game Gear? Once a few Christmases and birthdays passed and you were able to amass a true gaming collection, the LCD handheld games just started to collect dust in the back of the closet. Technology was advancing, and the once simple Tiger games just couldn't keep up with the consoles that had actual graphics and gameplay beyond press A to jump and press B to move a little bit. People started to realize these games were, well, not exactly the most fun. Sure, they were a quick distraction, but the lack of depth eventually caught up. As the late 90s rolled into the early 2000s, it became harder and harder for Tiger handhelds to compete. Gaming giants like Nintendo with their colorful screens, soundtracks, and actual storylines were dominating the market. Tiger tried to fight back with more advanced models like the R-Zone, a failed attempt at virtual reality that was more of a headache than a gaming revolution. Don't even get me started on the Tiger Gamecom, their ill-fated attempt at a more sophisticated handheld console. Spoiler alert, it didn't end well.
No! God, please, no! No! No!
At this point, Tiger handhelds became more of a nostalgic footnote than a serious competitor. With advances in gaming consoles and the arrival of smartphones, simple LCD games just couldn't compete. But even in their decline, they left their mark. For millions of kids, they were a gateway into the world of portable gaming, paving the way for the mobile and handheld devices that we all carry today. Now here's the funny thing. Even though Tiger handhelds weren't exactly masterpieces, there's still a deep well of nostalgia tied to them. Something about that janky gameplay and those awful sound effects brings us back to a time when all you needed was a few pixels on a screen to be happy. Maybe some chicken nuggies wouldn't hurt either. These days, Tiger handhelds are more of a collector's item than anything else. You'll see people hunting them down on eBay for a piece of that sweet 90s nostalgia. They're like vinyl records. Sure, there are better options now, but there's just something about holding one in your hands that takes you back. There's also still a bunch of the games still being made by Hasbro, who acquired Tiger Electronics in 1998. They run for around the same price that they did in the 90s, at around $20 to $30. Honestly, I might have to pick one up for myself. Did you ever have a Tiger LCD handheld? Which one was your favorite? Let us know down in the comments. So, why do we love Tiger handhelds? Was it the groundbreaking technology, the immersive gameplay, the flawless sound design? Nope, it's the memories. The long car rides, the recess breaks, the moments when you had nothing but 3 buttons and a black and white screen to entertain you. And let's be honest, there's something special about having a piece of gaming history in your hands, even if it's not as advanced as what we've got today. Well, that's it for today's journey into the Retro Vault. If you liked what you saw, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more trips down memory lane. Have a favorite Tiger handheld game? Let us know in the comments. I'm always down to relive the glory days of button mashing. I'm Aaron, and this is Retro Vault. We will see you next time. Be safe.